Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Emulator with your host, Dylan. In today's tutorial, we're going to do an installation of Knulli Gladiator 2. Sit back and enjoy. So here we are with the platform Knulli Gladiator 2 on the Trimui Smart Pro device. So what I have is I have it set up with my games, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, with a brief example of the scraping. We've got Game Boy Advance, we've got ports, we've got EmuDrop, that's located under Pygame, we've got Sega Mega Drive, DreamCast, PlayStation, and PSP, and also included some movies. So what I like to do is go ahead and show you how to install Knulli from a SD card, and we'll take it from there. So going to the Knulli.org website, which I'll put down in the description and the details below on the video, is we're going to go ahead and install Knulli. So this would be your page for the installing. What it's going to do is it's going to want to go ahead and hit a release page so we can select the correct version that goes to the Trimui Smart Pro. So we're going to go ahead and click that, release pages. What it's going to do is it's going to locate the Grit Hub. We're going to go ahead and pull down the Smart Pro file. So what I've already done is I've already actually pulled that file down. I'll show you over here. We've already got a fresh SD card already ready to go. It's already located at FAT32. So here's our Knulli image. We're going to go ahead and right click and extract it. Just going to go ahead and drop it right onto the desktop. Just takes a few seconds here. Now we can go ahead and delete the original zip file. Now this file here is going to need to be mounted. So if we go back over here, and what we want to do is we want to flash it. So we've already decompressed the image and we want to write it. We're going to go ahead and run with the Win32 disk imager. So I've located that right here. We're going to go ahead and make sure we know which file it is. Is the iDrive located here. We're going to go ahead and open up Window. We're going to go to Desktop. Going to locate the Knulli image. Going to go ahead and let's open. It's going to open up another folder. We're going to go ahead and select that. Go open. It mounts it onto the disk imager. And we're going to go ahead and do a write. It's going to go ahead and format the card. And we'll let it do that process. We'll be right back. Now you'll see that the file has been written successfully. We're going to go press OK. Go ahead and get out of this. Now the SD card has got some files that are not being identified by Windows. So let's go over there to that. We'll go cancel. We'll go ahead and go to our Windows. We'll go to our USB drive. And it's showing it's not accessible. So we'll go ahead and exit out. We'll go ahead and put the SD card into the Knulli. So we're back to the device, and I'm going to go ahead and close out the TSP Knulli. Go ahead and press the menu. Go down to quit. Go down to shutdown. We're going to go ahead and get out of this device with the current SD card, and we're going to put a new SD card to set up. So we'll go ahead and pull this card out. And we're going to go ahead and put this fresh SanDisk 128 into the device with a fresh copy of Knulli. So we're going to go ahead and press power to boot up for the first time. There we go with our opening screen. What it should be doing is it should be creating some shared files. So you'll see the process bar down below. We'll go ahead and let it do its process so you can actually see it in real time. Might take a few minutes. After the files have been located, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take the SD card back out of the device so we can add some BIOS and EmuDrop. And I'll show you how to do that shortly. As it continues on, it's creating a share partition. Just take a little bit longer. It could be due to the size of the SD card. So here we are back, and what ended up happening is it got stuck on the populating the share partition. It hangs up there usually when it gets to about the I on the screen, if you see the bar, and then it freezes up. So what I did was I went ahead and did a press down and shut it down and then rebooted it, and here we are, front screen with the preloaded software and music. So to get into the menu, make a few changes here right off the bat. We're going to go ahead and go to game settings, and the first thing we want to do is we want to check for BIOS, what's missing. So this identifies all the BIOS that are missing from any games that are actually listed here. You can see. And then if you go up to all, this will show the BIOS that are needing for any of the different platforms. So if you were to go down, it starts from A. We're going to set this up with some PSP games. But you can see the different BIOS that are needed, and they're all missing. Unfortunately, we have to scroll down all the way to the bottom. So if we go to the DreamCast, that's an important one there. These are the two files, the DC_boot and DC_flash. Those are files that you're going to need for DreamCast to be able to allow you to play. If we get to the Game Boy Advance, they can be a Game Boy Advance, a Game Boy Color, or a Super Game Boy. All those are going to be front screen BIOS. Keep scrolling down to the more relevant ones. But you can see there's a list of many. If you were going to have the N64 DD, you would need a BIOS for that. But for the standard N64, there is no BIOS required. Here's the Nintendo, the NDS. There's some BIOS that are missing that would be required. Neo Geo. PC Engine for arcade. Here we go. PSX, that's for the PlayStation. These are the required files. What you could do is take a screenshot with your phone and then go ahead and Google locating your BIOS. I'll show you how we can add some. If you had a Saturn platform, here are the BIOS that you'd be needing. Super Game Boy as well. And it goes down all the way. We'll go ahead and exit out of that. Another thing that's very important is on the save states. If you want to set up a save state, go ahead and you can click on this to do auto load and auto save. It'll actually save it automatically. You want to show the manager if it's not empty. Kind of helps out to follow along if you had multiple players using a device to go back to a previous game. Down here under default global settings, you can go to decorations, something that's been asked for a lot. and you can go up to the decoration to set up as auto. It'll give you the frames you can use for your decorations. It is standard default as auto. What is best is to select it as none and then individually add it to your emulators or platforms as you want. We'll go ahead and turn the music down a little bit. Sounds really good. Those are some key things that need to be done right away. You can add your retro achievements in here as well. Go back up here. Here you can do your retro achievements. Put in your information for username and password. We'll go ahead and get out of game settings. Another one that's important is the user interface. It's basically your themes. As you can see this theme here. We select the Sega Mega Drive. Here's an example of what that page is going to look like under that theme. An example of a video of the game. We've got ports, Game Boy Advance, Super Nintendo, and then emulators for the PP, SSPP, which is for the PSP, which will be used when you run those. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add EmuDrop, so we can add some games, add some BIOS, and get this thing started. So what I'm going to do here before I take the SD card out is I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. Not necessary right now. We need to set up the network. We can remove the sound. So if we were to go to the sound settings, we can go to front end music. Go ahead and click that off. That will stop. Network here, it's not connected. But if I wanted to enable it, it would go ahead and then allow me to put my host and my password in to be able to connect. Scraper, basically setting that up as well to scrape your artwork. You can go ahead and change the settings of what you'd like to be able to have scraped. If you were to go down a little bit further, there's an account for Scraper. You would go ahead and plug that in, your username and password, and then it would sync to Scraper, which is online, a website that you're linked to allow you to pull the artwork down. And we're going to go ahead and quit so we can get the SD card out. Best way to do it is not plugging it in with a USB cable, but putting it into a SD card reader on your computer. So we'll go ahead and press quit. We'll go ahead and press shutdown. And now we'll take the card out and bring it back to the computer. So here we are back at the computer, and we notice here on it the SD card is just saying Baxera, and if you were to click on it, it's just going to locate a few folders up here, as you can see. So going on their wiki, there is a solution. It's not being partitioned to a share folder, even though it's booting up saying it's there. So to X out of this, what I found online was over here on their wiki. You go to partitioning. What we need to do is we need to go ahead and go to the start menu, open up disk management, which I've got here already, and we are going to need to make a modification. Identify your SD card, right click the share partition and assign a drive letter. The drive will now show up into my PC. As you can see this example, and I'll go ahead and put this link as well that's up above as well here on my video. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and change the disk name. So we'll go back up to disk management. We're going to go to our share file here. We're going to right click it and change it. We're going to go ahead and add J. Go ahead and press OK. Now if we go over to our folders, as you can see, now we have a share folder. And now when we open it up, we see our BIOS and our ROMs. So what we'll go ahead and do is, we don't have any ROMs in there, but all the folders have been established. We'll go ahead and minimize this screen go ahead and X out of this screen. We need to add EmuDrop. So let's go ahead and add EmuDrop. So we're going to go back up here. And if we click on under the GitHub, which I'll include the link as well, is EmuDrop. Let's refresh that screen. And what it is a perfect game ROM downloader that can be added to the Trimui Smart Pro or the Brick. It's got the devices it can be put on as the Cross Mix and the Knulli. So what we're going to do is put it on the Smart Pro. It'll scroll down and it'll actually allow you to pick a platform and then locate a game, and then or even search and be able to download the game and put it on insert it into your ROMs. You can go on the wiki to get some more details here, and then down here in the installation it's going to show where we need to locate it. So for the Knulli system, it's going to show we need to locate it under the Pygame folder under ROMs. So I've already downloaded the file. Here's our share folder. Get him over there. Here's the Knulli app over here. We're going to go ahead and extract that. Here's our folder. We can get rid of the zip file, delete that. Now we're going to go ahead and open up that folder. And the contents that are in there, we're going to go ahead and take to the ROMs folder. And we're going to go locate Pi. Here's Pygame here. We're going to go ahead and take all this right here, copy it, drop it back over here, paste it over here. We'll go ahead and X out of that. We'll go ahead and back out of that. And we'll go ahead and get back out of the ROMs. Now for the BIOS, just to have a few BIOS on hand, what I've done is I've created a small folder for myself over here of BIOS that are usually needed for some of the systems. So they're not going to be in a specific folder under the BIOS. So we're going to go ahead and open the BIOS here. And what we're going to do is we're going to add the Game Boy Advance. These are all the BIOS we can locate. We're going to go ahead and just drop those over there. We're going to play PS1. We're going to go ahead and just take the folder of items and just drop it over there as well. Copy them. And for DreamCast, we're going to go ahead and take the two folders here and drop them inside as well into the BIOS. Those should be the required folders that we need. We'll go ahead and X out of that. We'll go ahead and back out of that. So for ROMs, we don't have any games on there currently except for the ones that were already brought into the system. What we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and connect to the Wi-Fi, set up EmuDrop, and go ahead and download a game. So hold 1 second, let me switch my camera. Now we have the SD card inserted back into the Trimui. We're going to go ahead and power it right back up. We're going to load up, connect to the Wi-Fi. If your lights are blinking at this point, a couple blinks, that means it's completely working correctly. So here's our main screen. We'll go to Pi, we'll press A. As you can see, there's an EmuDrop. But we need to connect to the Wi-Fi, so let's go ahead and get out of here. We're going to press Start to get to the menu. We're going to go down to Network Settings to show it's not connected. We're going to go ahead and enable Wi-Fi. Now it's going to be wanting us to insert a searching for what is out there. Let me go ahead and locate my Wi-Fi that's here. So I went ahead and put my credentials in. I'm down to back. I'm going to press A or B as the back key. Should populate an icon saying the Wi-Fi is enabled. And there we go. You can see the IP address located. And if we get out of there, in the top right hand corner, you can see the Wi-Fi icon. Okay, so now that we're into Pygame, I'm going to go ahead and press A. We have to set up the configuration for the mapping for the keys. We'll go ahead and click A to get that set up. We're going to go ahead and press A. So we're going to press A, press B, X, Y, left, right, select, start, up, down, left, right. Perfect. So the mapping has been completed. Now we're going to go ahead and select EmuDrop. It's going to go ahead and boot up, showing its current version. Just takes a few seconds for it to boot up. Just be patient. Now it's allowing me to map again. Not really sure why. Might be a new feature on the front end that's not required. So here's our platforms. You're able to go to any of them. We're going to select Game Boy Advance, just to do a quick one. Now you can see all the games that are listed. If we wanted to search for a game, we can go ahead and press Y. Let's select a Mario. That'll, when we start putting in letters, it's going to start to narrow our search down. So if we were to go return, as you can see, it's starting everything with MAR. And it's searching all different systems for Game Boy Advance. So for example, we pick see if we can locate something here. That looks about right. Mario Golf Advance Tour. I know it's the European version. So we would go ahead and press A to select it. It's going to tell you the approximate size. As you can see, it's about 11.5 megabytes. It actually shows my free space as well on there. So it gives me kind of a tracker to know how much space I have. We're going to go ahead and select yes. Press A. Now to go see it being downloaded, we press X. And now you can see it being downloaded. It's going actually rather fast for a file. And I'm running it off of 2.4 megahertz internet. It's going to actually pick up by scraping the cover image for the game. We can go ahead and get back out of this. If we wanted to, we can also locate other platforms. So if we were to go to Nintendo 64, or if we were going to go to PlayStation PSP, again, you're going to see a list of games. Here's From Russia with Love, 007. So if we were going to select this, it can actually tell us how big the file is. This file is particularly about 511, about half a gig. We're not going to pick those up right now in this example. We're going to go ahead and get out of this. We're going to go ahead to our Start menu, just to refresh our games. Go to Game Settings, update our game list. We're going to go over to our Game Boy Advance. There we go. Press A. And there's Mario Golf Advance Tour. We'll go ahead and press A again. And it boots right up. And here's our BIOS that shows the intro screen. Now, for example, we want to get out of this and remove these borders. Go ahead and press Menu and Start. That'll clear our screen. We were to go ahead and press Select. This is actually showing this particular game itself. We can go down to Customization, Advanced System. So emulators. This will actually identify which emulators are being selected. Let's go back in that one more time. There's actually set up as an auto, but you have the choices of the GPSP or the MGBA or the VBA-M, so you can decide which one works best for you. But if you go down here to Video Settings and you go down to Decorations and we press Decoration Set, right now it's set at Auto, and press it to None, go back out of that, we should be able to press this game and it should have removed the borders. And it did not. So we need to see what setting is being saved. So let's go ahead and remove it back out one more time. Let's go back to Advanced Options. We want to go to None. We should be able to press OK now. And it's removed the game console borders. So that gives you an example there. We'll go ahead and get out of this. A couple features we can also go into in the menu. If you were looking to do scraping, you would go into this menu here. You would need to add your credentials. But if you were to be downloading games from EmuDrop, it'll be automatically scraped as well. If you want to change some of the themes, you would go into these settings. Basically, I'm just trying to get the brief setup and get a game going from start to finish from putting the SD card on. Now, one thing I want to add is we're going to go back to the menu one more time. We're going to go to Game Settings. We're going to go to a missing bio check. And basically you can see that our list actually got smaller because we added our BIOS for the Super Game Boy earlier, or the Game Boy Advance. So it gave those and removed it. So because there's a game for PC Engine, there's still a BIOS missing. And until we add more games for the PlayStation, then it would require asking if there's BIOS, but we've already added them as well as the Sega. So we're going to go down here. You can go down into some device settings, system settings, and make some changes. We're going to go ahead and do a quit, and we're going to shut down. And there you have it. The initial setup of just getting the SD card installed onto the Trimui II.Smart Pro and be able to install or download and install a game from EmuDrop add-on. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day. Again, from Beyond the Emulator, this is Dylan. Thanks.